14th. The main event starts at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific time.
Hello there, welcome to Tablestory. I wanted to take a moment to let you know some other ways that you can support the channel, see some extra merchandise, and find some additional content that you might not be aware of. Merch.tablestory.tv is our official merchandise store and membership feed. Here you can see some of the merchandise for the channel and shows, like these hoodies, these hats, this very elegant pillow, and more. There's also some additional content available, things like session zeros and pre-show ready workshop episodes of our shows. We also have a series we call the Green Room, which are short post-show chats with the casts of our shows, recorded immediately after the episode airs live on Twitch. The Green Room content is available retroactively for any members at any level. However, there are additional elements and discounts for Storians that support at higher levels. You can also listen to all of your favorite Tablestory shows in audio podcast format on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you find your podcasts. Please make sure to rate and subscribe to those too. It's incredibly helpful. Thank you. Lastly, if you miss any of the episodes live or you want to go back and watch previous series, all of our shows are available in playlists on YouTube, and every episode airs at noon Eastern the day after it airs live on Twitch. And thank you so much for watching and supporting Tablestory. We hope you enjoy the merch and the content as much as we enjoy making it.
Emptiness, rage, confusion, wouldn't be alone in pain.
Last thing I remember,
The memory is hard, clear. Flash of dimly lit lashes around three figures.
dash my head against the desk.
I remember my thrash,
Looking up at it.
outstretched hand, reaching out, blood,
The painting is Judith beheading her referees.
bloody. Some of it splatters on the wall.
I think I knew who they were,
A shadow or a silhouette
but of course I have no proof.
sort of raised from the huddle.
There are two women holding someone down as we cut a man's head off.
Not getting dragged back.
Feel disappointed. I feel inadequacy.
And then
And I saw darkness.
darkness.
I feel angry.
The memory isn't it all clear. Goes together. Just a vortex.
Våran värld är i fara. Ödets vävnad har utlöst sig till något oförutsägbart. Denna aurora sträcker sig längs himmelen och frigör oss från dagens ljus. Lämnar oss vilse i nattens mörka djup. Det sägs att det är en mäktig sträng som förbinder änglarna. Men även i sin skönhet är det en mörk varning. För det sägs att den endast syns innan mörkrets dagar. Världens undergång. Glömskan. Ragnarök.
We'll finish what we started. Or start what we finished.
Can you hear me?
It's getting real bad. There's all these people in the islands. If we don't go now, like, they could die. We gotta do something. You talk to the council. I'll go warn them.
We'll meet up again, right?
Why can't I find them?
Of course. I would never leave you behind.
It's just that
Said we'd be there for each other.
we left our friends
We
and
didn't leave our friends, luckily. We
It has to be this way.
we needed to part ways for just a little bit. But I promise.
are you okay being alone?
I'm gonna have to be.
It'll help you okay. We'll all be together again.
If anybody can do it, you can.
Now go. It all comes back around.
Hello, Dex. When were you born? I know you, little one. Your eyes are blue. Your eyes are blue. What do you see? I hear you. Your eyes are green. Whatever you are holding. Does it hurt? You were not this way yesterday. You are not this way now. You are a creation. You are currently creating. You were not born. Does it hurt? You were not born. You were molding. You are molding. You are molting. I know you. But do you know me? I hear you. Your eyes are green. Your eyes are blue.
Step 1. Conjuration. Gather your power. Step 2. Divination. Locate your source. Step 3. Convocation. Fold space and bring the source.
I gave you what you asked of me. You gave me nothing in return. Then I waited. Do not mistake this for punishment. This is an equal treasure. Now look around you. Put your name. Should you call on me again? Never forget the past.
Life doesn't always give us what we deserve, it gives us what we need.
As
existence wanes and dies, legends remain.
We are the kings, the sentinels of the future. Many who claim they have lived their lives in beauty.
What does it mean to be good or be evil?
And I think that's right. Be who they want you to be, or be who you're born to be.
Legendary ranges, steals, sells.
Everything comes at a cost.
Don't forget the river.
Tidal Blades is an improvised cinematic narrative with live production, including music and dialogue. There's no script. We want to thank Druid City Games for sponsoring this story and for creating the world of Tidal Blades, without which neither this story nor my friends and I would exist. And now, somewhere in Naviri.
Found our way. It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are, and like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers, stronger than ever. Never say never. Don't look back now. Don't look back now.
Every Navirian remembers the storm, a monstrous cloud rolling across the sky, blacker than Cuddlebeard's ink. It stained the pristine blue like a bruise. The wind lashed out first, its rage a cry of warning. Then the rain began to fall. Drifters moored their homes in haste, the bay churning as the first waves crested high enough to threaten the island city. It was, by all accounts, a most magnificent storm. And as beings scrambled for safety, a few heroes remained, standing strong against the thundering sky. They were the Tidal Blades, elite guardians of Naviri, tasked with defending the floating islands. For over 200 years, they had patrolled the reef barrier day and night, keeping the city safe from the terrors of the deep. But this storm brought nightmares that clawed their way through the waves, beasts that even the Tidal Blades could not hold back. When the Higher Council convened, it was to decide on a last desperate measure. There was a way to save the city, but it carried a terrible price. As the Arcanists gave the Tidal Blades the precious Hyperloom, their hearts grew heavy. And when the Fold deployed in a searing flash of magic and light, they knew Naviri would stand, but the Tidal Blades would not. 15 years have passed. The air over Naviri is warm again, the sky painted with immaculate clouds. Naviri has never been more vibrant, more beautiful. The protective barrier known as the Fold still stands. From the scattered reefs to the wayward sea, it blocks the horizon like a huge, glitching glacier, a brittle defense against the horrors that lie beyond it. But stories travel on the winds now. Creatures from the deep have begun to slip through, strange and mutated, carrying abilities unseen before. Whispers tell of folk found wandering outside the Fold, blank-eyed and stripped of memory, yet their skin is adorned in scars, muscles taut and ready, their bodies clearly strong enough to carry the memory their minds have lost. Could they be former Tidal Blades? Some say that others yet remain, trapped, waiting. They need only a new generation of dreamers, daring to be heroes. Could you tell us a little bit about what your abode looks like, Amarra, since that's where we're starting?
Yes. I think using abode is definitely the right word for it. If you used house or even really home, it probably would have corrected you. It's, for lack of a better term, it's a shed, essentially. It's an oversized, overglorified shed. It's made out of wood, again, a lot like the boats that he sailed all of you on. Most likely cut the wood down himself, cut it himself, put it together to make this abode himself. It can very comfortably fit a elderly turtle, but now that he's bringing in 3 others, it is a bit cramped. Not just because of the space, the actual square footage of it, but also because of how messy it is. We saw the lab earlier today, and it was described as organized chaos. This is just chaos. There are piles of clothing in the corner of the room. You can see the dinner table still has food left on it from probably earlier today. The windows are wide open, and there must have been some kind of intense breeze because sand from the outside has definitely been blown in, making almost everything coated in a slight thin layer of sand. And I think there's a slight scent of a campfire in the home, rather abode, correcting myself there. And he ushers everyone in. Welcome to my home.
Thank you.
Don't mind the mess.
Thank you.
They can like shove things off the seats so they can take a seat. Just very unceremoniously just knock stuff off the table as well. I think there's only like 2 things you can actually sit on, and then the table, so it kind of clears the table for someone to sit on as well.
Go ahead.
I'd like to immediately start picking up anything that looks remotely kind of mechanical and like examining it intensely. Like, is there anything of that description that would be really obvious that's there?
Yeah. I think so. I think you'd find long since used and kind of drained ciphers. So little small gadgets that you'd probably associate maybe some coral guards or previously Tidal Blades using either in fights to protect Naviri or just for ease of life. But they've definitely been used probably years ago, so I don't know if there's much you can do with it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think there are any ciphers lying around? or artifacts, I guess, here for Naviri, but for the system, it'd be ciphers, right?
Ciphers and artifacts are actually two different things, even in this system.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Artifacts are ciphers, but stronger and last longer. Ciphers are one-use stuff, basically.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, do you think you have either? Maybe not artifacts, but ciphers?
No, I don't think I have any artifacts, but I do think I'd have some ciphers lying around
Shall we
from
roll?
my heyday.
I don't know if are you thinking about my cipher scope, peeps?
Either that, or I just thought it would be fun if he has collected stuff on the beach, maybe, because you live somewhat close to the fold, right? So
Yes.
I think it would be really interesting if maybe some things have washed up or potentially left the fold, and maybe you didn't realize they left the fold, but we could all roll a D100 and see if we get a random cipher.
Oh my god.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I say we do that. So everyone can type /roll. And I'm hearing the stream coming through someone's speakers. I don't know. Just a little bit. Okay. All right.
100.
Yes. And then I think we can look up. Ooh, yes. Okay.
I imagine this is as too far as just cleaning up my... almost picking up stuff randomly, almost cleaning up my abode. You just find these stuff.
Okay. I'm going to look it up here real quick. Yes.
For the record, I'm not going through anyone else's stuff. If there's anything I find, it's probably because when I tried to sit down, I sat on it.
I think that makes perfect sense.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh. Okay, let me look here. So we've got what was the first roll?
That was me.
That was
a 38.
Okay, let's see. 38 is fish senses. Let me see what that is. Oh, this is ridiculous. All right, fish senses is alters the user's senses to provide them with enhanced sight, smell, and hearing, particularly as it pertains to fish and other aquatic creatures. For 1 hour, they have an asset on all tasks involving perceiving, studying, understanding, and communicating with fish and other aquatic creatures. That is fantastic.
But what is it? Is it a food or is it a thing?
Ooh.
That's a good question, and I'll actually leave that up to you, Drak, because what would you have collected? What would you have grabbed, I think?
I think this is like a half mask that covers your mouth and nose specifically.
Ooh, okay.
Can slip on and wear.
Ooh, I like that. Okay. Who rolled next?
I did.
Yeah, okay, what was it?
I will add, similar to Akati, I am not seeking out anything currently. If I come across anything, it is probably that in my movements to enter the room, I have knocked something over with one of my branch-like arms.
Okay.
I rolled a 79.
Okay, 79 is quick fins. So let me look that up here. And I might be able to... fruit cipher is a totally different table. This is so exciting.
It is.
Yeah. Okay.
Food. I like food.
79 quick fins. I'll roll on the food table for you then. Quick fins. Let me scroll here. All right, what do we got? Oh, is there no description for this one, or am I missing it? Let me search.
Yeah.
I must be missing it, which is very much like
searching.
me. Always searching. I don't see it in the list. You guys see it? It's a mystery.
Do
you see it? Do you see it, Drak?
I can check.
Yeah. It looks like it's not in the list of like the table anyway. It might be somewhere else in the PDF, but this is interesting. Quick fins. I imagine it makes you swim better.
Okay,
That's what I would think.
I found it.
Oh, okay.
Page 374. Gives the user fins, allowing them to swim a long distance each. Swim long distance each round, and easing all tasks while swimming. The fins last until the wearer leaves the water, or for 1 hour per cipher level, whichever comes first.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool. I like that a lot. All right. Who rolled next?
I I did, and I rolled
All
an
right.
8.
Oh, an 8. Okay, hold on. An 8 is... Armor Enhancer. That is a really good one
That
for
makes
you to
sense.
roll. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Ooh.
Okay, I like that a lot. Okay, let's see. What does this look like then? The Armor Enhancer.
Oh, let me see what the armor enhancer does.
It does. The user's armor gains an enhancement for 24 hours. Roll a d6 to determine the result. So you can roll that right now, actually.
Okay, I'll roll that. D6. A 1.
Okay, so it's a +1 to armor.
I think it looks like a kind of, it's a flat circular stone with carvings like etched deep into it, that I think Amarra and definitely Tufar would recognize as carvings that kind of resonate in a particular way with Draconic energy, so that when it's placed on your armor, it almost encases you and the armor you're wearing in a thin layer of like dense Draconic particles. And the kind of science behind it, the quote-unquote science behind it, is that it slows down any projectiles or melee attacks coming your way, hence translating into the extra bit of armor.
Fantastic. I love that. I think, Troop, you're the last one, right?
No, I went first. I got
It's actually cola.
Fruit.
Mass.
Did I do fruit
But-
for you? Oh, no.
No, you
Okay,
gave
you're
me-
right. You're right. I'm so
um,
sorry. Did you want me to
I
roll
have
on the
a-
fruit table?
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
I have these ciphers from before that were on my body. Are they not? I'm just wondering if they're still there, because I can only... do you know?
I think
I
we're
was
going to roll
looking
for
for
it.
Um,
How many do you have? How many
Well,
did you have, rather?
I did have 4. I used to be able to carry a lot, but I can't carry that many now. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
I think you can only carry 2 now, correct?
Oh, I can carry 3 because I've
Oh,
got a
that's
lot
right.
of pockets. But if I'm going to take this one, I'd have to drop something. But that
was
also
gonna
doesn't make a lot
say-
of sense because I have a lot of pockets.
I think that we should roll randomly for which ones you have on your person, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind. I don't know why, because I have pockets. But would you like me to roll for each one?
Yeah, I think a 1d4 and whatever 3 you get first are the ones you keep.
Okay.
And then in the meantime, Colo, you go ahead and you rolled an 89, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Rigged.
Whoa, what? Stormbringer. What is this?
Ooh, that makes sense for Amarra to have in his home.
Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, hold on. I'm scrolling. Stormbringer. Okay, go ahead and roll a 1d6 for me.
Me?
Over the course of 1 round, the cipher creates a high-speed vortex of air centered on itself. On the turn after the cipher was activated, the vortex inflicts damage equal to the cipher's level and ignores armor. Wow! On everything in immediate range. It then dissipates. That's crazy. Okay, what did you roll on your 1d6?
1d6.
That's the level of the cipher that you just rolled for. That's max level cipher. Wow!
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Wow, fantastic.
Do I know what it is that I've just
I think
picked
so.
up?
I think instantly. Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't mind me describing what it looks like.
Yeah,
Because
please
I think
do.
this is something that Amarra definitely often used. And I think looking at this, you'd remember hearing more about Amarra, I think, with this context. Amarra, right now, for most people, like I said, is known by a more derogatory kind of name, Naviri's Cracked Shell. But before, he was known as Amarra the Storm Shell, and you found his Stormbringer. I think it's a I truly think it's a like hand axe attached to it. Is again, almost everything in here seems to be like very simple use of Draconic energy, rather than mechanics and such. It seems to be a deep understanding of carvings and just understanding of the Draconic energy itself. And it's a small hand axe, or probably large in your hand, with the metal of it made out of trinite, and the handle itself being made out of, I think, probably cordian as well, similar to the structure of his walking cane. It probably was what he used before he needed a walking cane. And you can feel just picking it up, you can smell the scent of ozone around it, you can kind of feel the static electricity still kind of running off of it as you pick it up. And it was just on the ground, like a lost sock. He just kind of left it there. Hasn't really thought about it. From the layer of dust and sand on it, you can tell he hasn't picked it up. We've probably looked at it for a long time now.
Is it sharp?
At this point, I don't think so. I think it's slightly rusted, maybe chipped. Hasn't been truly has not been touched or maintained in a long time.
I think unpicking this up, I have this moment of wonder, this moment of like, and like my breathing quickens a little bit, and then I want to like kind of look over my shoulder to see if anybody's looking, and I want to unzip my vest. And
Everyone's looking. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I want to try and hide it in my vest.
Did you leave something at Wakati's the last time you were here, Tufa?
What? No? Yes. 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 It's just, these things need to be kept warm, you see.
What needs to be kept warm?
Old mechanical, artifacts, old weaponry.
Okay.
I love her. So
Are any of you hungry? Thirsty?
Wakati's looking at this mask, and it's just sort of kind of sitting on what kind of sitting place do you have? What are your seating arrangements? Like where do we sit?
There are 2 wooden stools and a wooden table. So you can sit on the table, you can sit on one of the 2 stools.
Quick question. What's the weather been like outside today?
Oh, yeah.
So because of the fold, and I know that this is probably your first experience here, but because of the fold, you have pretty wonderful weather all the time.
Okay.
So it's kind of like this like bubble or this shield that goes around the whole city, kind of protecting it. So I don't think that the fold goes all the way around, but because of it, it's just like this barrier where you don't get too much wind, you don't get anything like that. Everything's very bright and sunny all the time. Almost like Utopia. Yep.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
No food or drink for me, thank you.
Okay.
I imagine that Wakati's actually sitting on the floor, because if there are only 2 stools, he would have sat on the floor. But I do have an appropriate mask. I just had to get it. It was just a
How about you, Deep Fisher? Too far. Food, drink? I caught some fish earlier today, so I can get that cooking.
Me? What? I'm not paying any attention. I'm
What?
like literally rooting through your stuff.
I'm not paying any attention. I'm sort of fixated on this mask with a slightly disturbed look on my face.
Okay, you're growing kids. I'll make you food.
What? Oh.
Amarra just goes to like the kitchen and starts cooking.
Oh, grandpa vibes. I love it so much. Grumpy grandpa vibes.
Oh, actually, I will say on top of that, the only thing that's like pristine on the table right now is a small dish of butter shields. Always filled to the brim.
Perfect. All right, so Amarra is off and doing some cooking for us, for the children, for the growing kids.
It is an open plan, so you can just see me walk to the end of the room.
And just for us, for a refresher, where exactly is your abode located in terms of Naviri, the city?
To be honest, it's barely in Naviri. I don't think it really counts as it anymore. I'm so far northwest-ish, almost right next to the fold. I'm near Vines and New Mingu. There are a set of isles there that are more or less uninhabited, and I kind of took claim of one of them.
And I have New Mingu here in the Isles, so it looks like that.
Yeah.
Yep. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Amarra?
Just Amarra.
Okay. Where did you find this?
Oh, that mask.
My parents, the deep fishers, would wear things like this when they would go fishing.
The Tidal Blades had some kind benefactors who would often give us items and ciphers that would be useful for us when defending Naviri.
I see.
I suppose that just wasn't used.
You might need it. You could have it.
I won't need that. You can have it.
I feel like someone else should have it than me. I was probably would. Liren, would you like it? You could be underwater.
I think if you found it, and Amarra is being kind enough to part with it, that's meant for you, Wakati.
I do hear this, and my shoulders just like fall, and I turn back around again and like start rooting through your things again.
I think you need to roll another D100, man. Let's see if we can find another cipher. Oh.
No way. You rolled 89 again.
Did you roll 89 again?
It's even funnier because the number 89 is such a meme in my community that I literally have an emote of the number 89. So to roll it twice.
Wait a minute.
Wait. I saw the 89 emote in chat.
Hold on. There has this. Okay, first of all, what are the flippin' odds? And second of all, it's time travel. This is an opportunity for us to do some time travel stuff, right? We have to. You found the same thing again.
Yeah.
So
obviously.
I'm trying to think if it's like.
It's a loop.
It's a loop, but why? Why for you, Tufa?
Ooh.
Why do you think when you're looking for something and you either do find it again and then you reach in your pocket and it's not there, the original, and now you have this one again? It's the same one for sure, and there's no mistaking. Why do you think that it is? Yeah.
Could I add that this one isn't rusted, it isn't chipped, it's...
Yes! Yes!
Yes!
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think you get 2 uses out of it before it expires.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And this is still a level 6.
Yeah. Yep.
The 6 carries over.
Yep.
In terms of why I think this happens to me, I don't think my character I don't think she I don't think she has any concept of what's just happened. The only logical explanation is that she's put it down somewhere, it's got lost in this mess, and she's found another one exactly like it. That's the only explanation. That's the only logical explanation.
And I hear you, my sweet, but when you reach into your pocket, it's not there.
But the only logical explanation, the only logical explanation is that she's put it down somewhere and she's picked up something else, another one of it. Just must have I must have Mr. Amarra, why do you have 2 of these?
Like over the sun of like a chopping board, cutting some fish up. 2 of what?
2 of these. Like, lift it over my head.
2. Stormbringer, I don't have 2 of those. You put that down, you're gonna hurt yourself.
Is this one sharp? This one's sharp. I think I try. I'm so clumsy. I think I try. I think I probably cut myself. I think I probably hurt myself, like, by accident, as I'm, like, trying to follow your rules and put it down. Oh!
Damn it.
Oh, wait!
Oh.
I think... I'd like to look... I'd like to go to Lyrin. I'd like to go to Lyrin and show her. I hurt myself. Can you, do you have a thing, the box with the things in it, do you have one?
I'm gonna look at Wakati. And
I can
you
do
just
it.
see Lyrin mouth the box with the things.
I can. And then Wakati thinks, can he do it? And he's like, actually, I don't know if I can.
Is it bad?
Mr.
Is she
Amarra?
bleeding all over the place?
There's
Yes.
some blood.
I don't think I'm, like, this is not like, let's go to A&E bad,
I
but,
think
like,
Doofa's
there's
dying.
definitely blood.
There should be a biscuit tin somewhere. There should be some supplies there.
And Lyrin is going to just gently take you by the shoulders and kind of plop you down in one place and turn to look for the biscuit tin.
And when you turn
there's
around to look for the biscuit tin, that you wounded yourself with the cipher that has just time traveled, right?
Yes.
Then I think you think you're bleeding, and then when you look down, you are no longer bleeding. But later, at a time that we decide, that cut will reopen itself.
Nice.
But right now, you're good.
I'm just gonna look at Lyrin with, like, wide-eyed wonder. You did it.
I did nothing.
My job here is done.
Are you okay, Tufa?
Actually, it's too far.
Oh, I'm sorry. Tufa.
Well, yes, I mean... Lyrin did the thing, so... It's fixed.
Okay. I look at Lyrin as if to say, huh? I feel like everyone knows exactly that that's what that look meant because my looks are thoroughly transparent. It's confusion.
Lyrin just gives a very subtle head shake.
I don't think I pick up on any of this.
It's perfect. And Amarra's just in there cooking, like, wait, are you bleeding or not? What's going on?
What's going on?
Did you put it down on the ground when you cut yourself?
Yeah.
Like you released it, right?
I tried to put it on like a cabinet or something. I don't think I would have put it on the floor, but like some kind of cabinet or pile or something, and like just dropped it the last edge of the way.
Lyrin just like with her palm flat like this, wherever it is, just pushes it slightly farther away from Tufa. Just like slowly away.
Perfect. I have a question. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but it's an intrusive thought now that won't leave my brain. Is Amarra a good cook? Like, is this going to taste good?
I think so. I think
so
Amarra
too.
is a good cook, yeah. I don't think he's not like traditionally, like professionally trained. I think it's just years of practice and figuring it out.
Okay.
I think everything he cooks with is definitely grown around his abode. He's been trying to be as self-sustaining as possible, so he doesn't have to go into Naviri too often.
Yeah. Follow-up question. I can't imagine he puts a lot of effort into the food that he makes for himself. But I imagine that right now for these kids, he's putting in some effort.
Yeah, he's definitely bringing out seasonings and flavorings that I've definitely not seen a light of day for a while. But he's got guests for the first time in a long time. So he's gonna try and make sure the food tastes good.
Okay.
Lyran's gonna walk over to where Amarra is and just... Are there any, like, cupboards or anything on the walls? Or is it open shelves?
Actually, I think they're open shelves. I think you can tell that the hinges that there were once, like, doors shut, but they long since fallen off and he hasn't been bothered to put them back on. So you just kind of see shelves of ingredients.
Lyran's going to just silently start grabbing whatever looks appropriate. If you're making something liquidy, maybe bowls, if it seems a little hardier, plates. But just, now that the children have been seated and have stopped playing with sharp objects, she's going to start assisting with getting food on the table.
I think as you walk by again these places, I think it's definitely like he's making like fried battered fish and some kind of vegetable stew to go along with it. He kind of looks at you and goes, "Is Tufa dead or lost a limb? What am I dealing with?"
Not in the current moment, no.
Okay, that's a relief. Thank you. Yeah, there's some other dishes over there.
And Lyran just kind of continues puttering about.
Tufa?
Yes?
Maybe you need this cipher. It might be important for you to have it. You might want it.
What's wrong with it?
Nothing. It's okay. People use them. It'll help you. Underwater.
I'd like to reach into my top pocket and pull out the butter shield that Mr. Amarra gave me yesterday and give it in exchange.
Thank you. And there's this like look of massive relief, like on Wakati's face as he exchanges this very valuable, special thing for a butter shield, and just.
And it's a mask, right?
Mm-hmm. A half mask.
I think I'd put it on.
Of course. Of course.
We might be touching things we shouldn't be touching. I'm just having candy though, so it's different.
I think it activates as well. Because I think that's what the cipher does.
Yeah.
Which like uses it up, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's okay. That's okay. There are plenty more ciphers to be had. We will be rolling on that table a lot, and every single time you'll roll an 89. I'm prepared for it. Oh God. Okay.
May I make a roll?
Mm-hmm. You absolutely may. Also, speaking of rolls, I'm going to also ask that Amarra make one and Lyran make one as well.
Cooking, I assume?
Nope, it's not for cooking. It's for noticing something. And that's all I can give you. So you can let me know if you've got... Are you all right? Are you choking?
Yes.
Am I killing you, my butter shield?
That actually happened to me when I was like 7. I almost died from a Werther's original. Like, for real?
No, Amarra brings 3 kids into his home and immediately one chokes to death and another cuts their arm off with an axe. Like,
Yeah, you know.
uses up this priceless cipher.
I just want to see if I might have recognized that we were in a time loop. That's all.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can roll for that for sure.
Because I sometimes have been in time loops, you know?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, maybe more than once.
What?
What would the difficulty be for perceiving, for noticing?
It is for something special, so I'm going to say 3. And Liren, yours is also for noticing. Same difficulty, 3. That's all I can give you. So if you've got anything special, we can try to apply it. But yeah, I don't want to tell you too much.
And what about me?
I think yours is also some sort of magical notification, like noticing of some sort. But you have an.
I have a lot of things that ease knowing things about.
I think it's more than that. I think that you can have an asset. Yeah. You can do all your easings and stuff, but I think that you should at least have one asset on top of whatever you've got on your person. Make sure you actually have it on your person, though, and it's not just what you remember having.
Well, I'll have to ask you some of these questions, but...
Oh, yes, okay. Okay, I heard it. You did? Okay.
That's Amarra.
Yeah.
All right. Wow, on a 3 difficulty. That's very good. Okay. I think I'm going to pass this over to Liren, but you do something that Amarra finds familiar somehow. What is it?
Oh, that's a great question.
Mm-hmm. Even just like maybe it was how you got the dishes down. Maybe you stepped up on your tiptoes, even though you don't need to, because you're this tall tree person now. Yeah.
That's a really good question. I think it would actually be a stretch that she does. So after she's kind of grabbed the dishes and put them down, not at all that she needs a break from babysitting the children in the other corner. No, she's not hesitating for any reason to go back to them. She takes a moment to kind of like roll the back of her neck around, but she does a very specific way of stretching her arms out, kind of like this. And it doesn't last too long, and then she keeps moving and keeps going. But I think the way that she does those little stretches is pretty distinctive.
I love that. Okay, and then Liren's roll was a failure. So I think in stretching, you maybe missed the thing that you could have noticed as well. But Amarra, you don't miss that. And then...
There's a momentary pause and the sound of like chopping. And then it just continues. He doesn't say anything, doesn't do anything, just goes back to cooking.
Okay.
What is my difficulty?
I'm going to say 3 as well.
Okay. I can ease that just because of my self.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have given me an asset.
Mm-hmm.
I have a book on this, but I'm not reading it right now, so I will just take this one.
Okay.
I also have writing. I have books. I have paper. I succeed.
How do you think you recognize this?
Oh. Should I say out loud? They can't hear, can they?
No, they can't hear you.
Okay. Well, my friends, it's the cut, you see. A cut that was there, but then not there. Friends of mine, they had this happen where they had a wound that showed up out of nowhere. And then later, we saw where it came from. Couldn't stop it from happening, even though I knew it was going to. So I just sometimes, that is something that I notice a lot. I pay attention to things like that. It just reminded me of my friend. And
do you think your pulse quickens and your breath quickens while you're remembering this for a minute? Yeah.
I'm just a little bit in general off kilter, not feeling so. Just being reminded of my parents, and now this. It's a little much.
Yeah.
It's not the council. That's not what's upsetting me, and it's certainly not meeting Valia's mother again. I'm fine.
Totally.
But that's weird. Did I do that loop? Do you think that was me?
I have no idea.
Oh.
Maybe. Probably.
Probably.
Isn't it
I
always
won't say
you?
anything. I think it is. But we won't tell them because...
Why would we do that?
Right.
One day you'll learn.
Maybe I already have. And
Maybe.
the food smells good.
Good, because dinner's ready. As Amarra will come out with Liren setting up the table with prepared foods. And I think it is like simple battered fish, a battered fried fish with some I think probably fried veggies. And I think probably from early this morning made like a simple fruit dessert, maybe like a small tart or something that they were going to treat themselves to after fishing, but I think will give out to their guests instead.
Liren's gonna hand the first portion over to Wakati.
Thank you. And he just sort of reaches out and squeezes Liren's hand in a way that I suppose in other circumstances might seem as if he's being reassuring to Liren, but it really is that Liren is being reassuring to him in this moment. He just sort of squeezes and then actually eats ravenously as if he hasn't eaten in years, or who knows how long has it been. It feels like it's been a long time, and he just gobbles up the food, probably before the last person, but probably before Amarra actually is able to start eating. I think he's already inhaled it.
Meanwhile, you hand the plate to Tufa, and she's got this mask on. Like, what do I do with this?
Amarra definitely hands a plate over to Tufa and goes, why did you wear that mask? Why are you wearing the mask? Wait.
Can I just ask, just to establish how this works, because I don't know how this works. What happens to a cipher once it's used? Is there a visible change? Is there how does that work?
Yes. So, I just realized we're going to need to make another roll as well. So there is some. I'm going to use the term magic. There is some magical energy, magical properties to this, and it basically just loses that. It's drained of that. And then the artifact is still in the object is still in your hands, but it just only had one battery in it, and then the battery is gone. Okay. And now we need, you know what? I don't even think you need to roll for it. Liren, you notice that is what happens when she uses the mask. You're acutely aware. It's like you can see the energy that is being infused in her to give her the ability, and then it's gone.
We're not going to be. I mean, unless you plan on going for a swim.
I with two hands take the mask off and look at it. Examine it, turn it over in my hands. Mr. Amarra?
Just Amarra.
What happened to it?
It's been used. You used the cipher. It would have made you a really good swimmer. And I suppose it has, but for about an hour, and we're not in water, so...
Used?
Yes.
Used up?
Yes.
Oh.
Have you not used a cipher before?
I suddenly look like I'm about to burst into tears, and my hand starts shaking, and I drop the mask on the floor.
Oh, okay. Hey, it's okay. It's okay. I haven't needed it or used it for the past 10, 15 years, so I'm not going to miss it. It's fine.
Lyran's going to touch Tufa's outstretched hand and kind of like put it down by her side and say, "You will not make the same mistake twice."
It's true. I won't. I never do. I almost never do.
You could have my
Even now.
tart. I just passed my tart over to Tufa. Because I hadn't eaten my dessert yet.
I'm now torn between my free hand, the one that's not holding Lyran's hand, taking the tart, and also taking the food that Amarra's, and I have this moment where I go between
I'll set
the
the
two.
plate on the floor. I'll set the plate on the table. Here you go.
Okay. I'm gonna make my way over to the table, but I'm not gonna let go of Lyran's hand. Or at least I'm gonna try and not let go of Lyran's hand.
Liran is completely unfazed by this. You would think that she walks around offering a hand-holding service to anybody that needs it. She's so blasé. She's just gonna stay with you.
I love her so much.
Lyran is very comforting.
Amarra just watching this go down.
I go sit down at the table and I take whatever kind of eating implement is at the table, and I eat with one hand with my other hand behind me still holding Lyran's hand.
Lyran,
occasional
are you
tear.
sure you don't want to eat?
I've been fed. Thank you.
Okay, well, there's more than enough for you if you change your mind, and more than enough you need second helpings, Deep Fisher.
Oh. I should wait till everyone's eaten first. That's how it is when you have many fish in your school.
Well, you're a guest in my abode, so you'll take priority right now.
Okay. If that's okay.
Please. In return, I do have some questions to ask all of you.
Oh. Of course. And Wakani will get up and go and make another sort of portion, and then she'll make one more portion in a different bowl. And I'll just put it over where Lyran is, and then sit back down near the table. Just, in case she wanted it.
And if she doesn't, I'm sure you won't offer to then,
Well,
Did you not just do that at the
same time?
Yeah.
Of course they did. They've been best friends for years. Of course they
We've
did
known
it
each other
at the same
forever.
time.
forever.
I think considering my proximity to Lyran, I think this is a rare time where I actually see that something is happening, and I'm going to take another eating implement and just put it in Lyran's bowl.
Okay. And I think almost taking seats, I think sat opposite Deep Fisher. Amarra will also sit on the floor, kind of legs crossed by the table, kind of watching them eat. So, I will be honest, I was just as blindsided by some of the information you gave the council as the council was. So, I want to get every detail of your story straight. First things first. Why were you heading or going towards the fold in the first place? I don't think the race was meant to go that close to the fold, so dangerously close, anyway.
Well, it was a shortcut. Lyran and I, well, all of us, on the Hodge Glob, we wanted to Well, it was a shortcut. It seemed. I think that's what I remember. Yes.
Okay.
It was a shortcut. We were behind. We were doing very well.
You just contradicted yourself. We were behind. We were doing very well.
Liren, do you remember? I have a very good memory. I'm very good at remembering things. It's always been one of the things that everyone would say about me, always in school. And I remember we were on the beach. I think we must have taken a detour or gotten lost. Liren remembers. I'm Liren. We were taking a shortcut. I remember, I think. I do remember.
Can I roll to see what sparks in my memory based off of what Wakati's saying?
Yes. Oh boy. Oh, what fun. Okay, yes. Oh boy. What on earth are we going to roll? Let me just pull up your sheet here.
In case anybody wants to know, in case you're doubting me, it says directly on my character sheet that I'm very good at memorizing and remembering things. It's right there, so it's true. I do remember things, in case anybody there wants to know.
I do see that, actually. It is there. He's not lying.
I'm very good at this.
And yet.
Ooh. Okay, so we're going to roll intellect. And we're going to do it with one asset. Based on something secret on your character sheet. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I do think that, without going into too much detail, this would be very, very, very difficult for
I think
Liren.
so too. Yep.
How?
So I would... I was going to say 4, but you are correct. So I think we should bump it to 5. It should be like really, really, really hard.
Okay.
But if you succeed, I'll lose my mind.
You can use
I have
effort.
failed, I think, every single roll I've done on the show so far. So it would be astounding if I succeeded.
You can use effort if you like.
You can. So you do have I think, oh my God.
Oh.
It's true.
One of these
It is
days
true.
I will succeed, but that day is not today.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense. You
Yeah, I
shouldn't
think so
know
too. Yeah.
This.
So I think when you try to recall anything before the fold, you get nothing. So anything, I think you just trust that what he's saying is true. Maybe. I don't know how you feel about him, but yeah, I think the last thing you remember is endless white.
We left the fold together because we had been in the fold together.
And
for
before.
A very, very long time.
Okay.
Don't think it was that long. It was only, I suppose it was longer than I thought. It was
5 years.
An hour or two. But we fell into the fold.
What were we doing?
We were doing a race, the race. We were doing the race, and we went traveling. We saw a diner. I want to go back there. The waitress was very nice, and we were trying to beat. It was a ship that was following us. I don't. We were on the race, and then Aaron.
Don't
We
push
fell into the
yourself too
fold.
hard.
And it doesn't seem right to say we fell into the fold, but we did somehow. I feel like there was something else, another step that I'm missing. But we went in there and we saw terrible things. People we love.
What kind of things?
Nightmares. But everyone was still alive. No, that's not right. No, the Tidal Blades are still there, but...
Are you sure?
Parents. Yes, suffering. And we lost some. Transformed into...
Do you know who was transformed?
How come I can remember this one? I don't know why it's this one I can remember. We have to get them out before we lose all of them. It's important. And I remember there's something about yes, we are supposed to, they can, it's like musical notes maybe. If they play the right notes on their side and we play the right notes on our side, this is probably a metaphor, but it might not be. We can make an opening. And I think there are multiple places this must happen, like anchor points, I think. And if we can open up enough of the anchor points, we have to coordinate with them. If this was the mission, we have to coordinate with them. And then we can open this up, and then we can get them out before...
And then we can get them out.
Okay. How did you get out of the fold?
Our ship. Yes. Our ship. It was me and Liren. I was the navigator, and Liren is our best pilot. And we had to leave the rest of them because couldn't take everyone. It was just us two. I remember we left everyone else behind because we couldn't fit them all in the boat, and they had to stay there and protect. They had to protect Tidal Blades, everyone. And so Liren and I, we flew out through time-space back here. It was very difficult. It was very hard to do this.
How did you do that? I don't think there's been any engineers who've been able to make a craft that can go in and out of the fold with ease. How did you do
There
that
isn't.
on a
That is correct.
on a ship that I can only assume wasn't meant to go into the fold in the first place, correct?
Yes, that is correct. excuse me, I would like to get my journal. I have a journal where I take notes on things. I'd like to get it from my bag. Is that okay?
Yes. If you're asking me, yes, absolutely.
I'm going to get it, if that's okay. And I pull out a journal where I've written notes.
Oh, Lord. Also, for those listening, he is visibly sweating, straining as he's trying to recall these memories. It looks almost painful for him.
And I pull out my journal. It's the journal where I keep notes. I have a very good memory, but sometimes you need to take notes on things. Poems. I would actually write poems often in my journal, not just notes. And as I open it, there are drawings, flowers. There are little notes, but this is clearly early, and I'm skipping through to where we are. And when I get to the place where we would be, the pages have been ripped out.
And you have something written there, don't you? In your own handwriting? That is a little alarming to read, maybe. I think it says something like, stop trying to remember? Or does it just simply say stop trying?
That's probably a misreading of it. It's probably means something different than that. Just says, stop trying to remember, and then it says, close the book. It's probably a joke, right? Anyway, I am. What I remember is that we had the ship. I don't remember where we put it, but I think we somehow fixed it. I know. I can travel through time. And I think
Amarra noticeably sits up straight when
I
says this.
I figured it out, that time is just like space. It's the same thing as just walking across the room. If you can walk across the room, you can walk across time. And I figured that out. And with the help of Liren and my friends, all of us, we fixed the ship so we could go into the fold. Why would we do that? Because it was a shortcut. We were on the race and we took a shortcut and we fell into the fold in our boat. And then we saw the terrible things. And we had to come back out and warn everyone so that we could save my friend's parents and all of our friends and family. But they're stuck there now too, and I remember I'm sorry, I seem to, but we can travel. We can travel to the moment when the ship went into the fold and we can see what happened. We can see it. I can take us all.
I think the moment Deep Fisher had mentioned this ability, my gaze drifted over to Tufa and has been watching Tufa.
Yeah, I'm curious to see Tufa's reaction as well.
I was writing everything down until the words flew through time. And at that point, I stopped writing things down.
Yeah.
And just stared. just absolutely stared.
We can do that, though. We could see what happened.
That's not possible.
It is.
If Wakati says it's possible, it's possible.
But that's not possible.
Why? Because you've never seen it?
Because it's never happened.
Because you've never known that it's happened.
Because it's never happened.
Wakati, has it happened?
Yes. Yes. I
Then
don't
that settles
know
it.
some things, but I know that. I can take us to the moment where we went back and where the ship went into the fold, and you can see what happened. We can watch it. All of us.
Deep Fisher. When we were taken to the lab, you seemed fascinated by it.
Yes.
So I'm assuming you haven't been taught traditionally about Draconic energy. It's all been self-taught.
Yes, but I got Jacko. Jacko brought me books. But Leard was there in the hideout, and we would read them together. That's how I learned. Books from libraries and practicing on my own. I have tools. I fixed things, little mechanical things, to make them work better. And Liren and I would read books together, and Liren would dance with Valia, and it was a very good time. But yes, I studied everything I could. I thought that maybe if I got good enough, they would take me one day.
Wakati?
Yes.
What do you need to take us back?
Oh, I just need my device, that's all. And to concentrate. It's just concentration, and that's all I need.
I'm sorry. Which device do you hold up?
Oh, this one. It's the one that I use. It was a gift.
Is it the compass?
No,
Okay.
that's
right.
personal.
Okay, my apologies.
I mean, that's a gift from my parents before they died. It's not. Why would you ask about that? Strange.
Just curious.
I haven't thought
Was it
about that
actually
in a
from your
while.
parents?
Ask me hard questions, and in a way, I don't. I have this that I got from Jacko, and I can use this to take us back 5 years. 5 years, you said. Yes, that's not hard. I can do that.
It's not hard.
Well, no, you just have to. If you imagine that time is also space, that they're not different, then just move there. It's sometimes disturbing when you see someone drowning and you can't save them. But we won't be in that situation, I don't think. We'll just go back 5 years and we'll see what happened. And then you'll know what I said was true. I will know what I said was true. So we can do that.
If you're all done eating.
Shall we?
Before we do, Amarra will stand up and walk over to there's a pile of clothes in a corner. Kind of push the clothes aside, and you see an old, kind of battered leather journal. And they'll pick it up, walk over back to the table, and set it on the table. And they'll open it up, and I don't know how many of you would recognize them, but you see pages after page of almost photorealistic drawings, and you see the faces of the previous Tidal Blades in incredible detail. The notes written beside them are very, very much what you'd expect from a mentor or trainer, kind of like weak right hook, always leaves the left side open. And with each page, you see them flicking through them in front of you and looking at Deep Fisher, Amarra goes, which of the Tidal Blades did you see? All of them, or just a few of them? Just point them out.
They didn't all look the same. Some of them looked twisted, mutated. This one, didn't even recognize it was her. Till I don't have a lot of time.
Liren, will you roll for me, please? One more time. Magical recognition. So some sort of intellect roll, and then you can have an asset. And difficulty again is 4.
Minor effect.
Someone in the chat said she will succeed when it counts. And not only did you succeed, but you rolled a 19, which means you also gain a minor effect, which means you can change the narrative. But I think one of these portraits stands out to you, and that's all I'm gonna say, and I'll let you take it over. But feel free to add to the scene as well, because you did get that minor effect.
Ooh. Oh.
Yeah.
Liren is just going to slowly take the book from Amarra and is flicking through the pages herself to go back to a page that you had passed earlier. And you said there's drawings of each of them?
Yeah, like hyper, almost clearly Amarra's an artist in another life. If he had the choice, he would have been an artist. It's incredible detail.
She stops on a portrait of a chameleon, and you see her silently looking at it for a long time.
I think
and
beside it you
there's
see the notes like headstrong, incredible with a bow staff, leaves their left side open, practice, just mental notes beside it.
And you can see the stance that she's in this portrait you've drawn of her makes her look, she's carrying herself almost as if she were a dancer. It's this very regal, like chin is up, very proud, very strong, turned out kind of posture. And as Liren is looking at this journal, you see her roll her shoulders back and turn in that same posture. And just slowly and completely silently, you just see tears start to run down her face. And she hands you the book back silently.
Mara takes it back. I think seeing the drawings that he very clearly almost hid away under those piles of clothes again, and seeing this person almost mimic one of the drawings, they visibly are trying to choke back emotion, back tears. So you don't recognize any.
Oh, hold. Good sir. No way am I letting you get out of that. You need to make a roll now, too. And I think with that 19 minor effect, Liren, I think we can add you have unlocked the ability to use a bow staff.
Thank
Okay,
you.
what am I rolling? Intelligence, I'm guessing, is this to recognize
And
and notice?
Yeah, it's to recognize, and you get an asset based on what just happened for sure.
Yeah. What's the difficulty?
4.
Okay.
I'm holding my breath, dude.
I succeed.
Okay, I'm not going to say anything. I think you know what it means, but it's up to you to decide how much or how little. So take it away.
I think they take the journal from you with shaky hands, and I think being around him for the past few hours, he's just generally shaky, just being old. But I think you can tell this is definitely from emotion as they take this journal from you. And there's a almost double take as he kind of looks down at the page you were looking at, and up at you, and then back down at the page. And then there's a noticeable resistance of looking back up. He wants to look back up at you, but forces himself not to as he closes the book. I'm getting too old.
How long since
it's been about 20 years since I let my students die.
Pull out my journal, I scribble down something furiously. Just something. Write down something. Big letters.
Can I go and look over Mr. Amara's shoulder? What do I roll?
What are you looking for? Sorry, I'm emotional.
I think I was watching Liren look at the book.
Are you trying to deduce something here?
I'm trying to deduce something, yeah.
I think you do an intellect roll. You're very wicked smart, so it's up to you to whether or not you think you have an asset, but I at least think this is eased based on the social interaction you've just watched. However, you're not the best at those, but it's pretty obvious.
I think I might potentially have an asset because when I first met Liren and I said, do I know anything about this creature? And you said it was something, I'd seen some kind of chameleon creature that was the information that she had. So I feel like that might help.
Absolutely. You can have an asset.
Okay, so
it'll be the intellect roll, with one asset. And if you want to use effort, you can. But you won't be able to recover that effort until there's a rest period. So just keep in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured you might.
Yeah. What's my difficulty, PB?
4, I think, for this. That's really high for those listening. Like, 2 is normal, 3 is strenuous, and 4 is, very difficult. So the fact that they are passing with this is unreal.
So is it one effort?
One effort and 1 asset. You get to use both.
Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I look over Mr. Amarra's shoulder, and I look up at Lirin. I look down again, and I look up again. I'd like to go over to Lirin and take her hand, the one that I stroked, and turn it over and look at the limbs of the creature I see in the book. It's you. That's you. That's you.
I need to go for a walk. And Amarra puts the book down and leaves.
And Makati just writes one more thing in his journal. He holds it to his chest. And he wrote, "Please, don't erase this memory. Please." And he put the time, the place. Just hopes that he'll read it, not come back.
Lirin turns to Tufa. Has it really been 20 years?
Mr. Amarra says so. It's not possible. But Mr. Amarra says so. I'd like to hold her hand, and I'm trying my absolute best to replicate the exact way that she held my hand when I was upset.
They're still in there. We're still in there. Amarra said he sent us to die. But we're not dead yet. It's worse. Bukati and I... we have to save them.
Save you.
Save all of us.
We have to go back.
But it's dangerous. We can't use your anchor points and open it up and get them out and get out with the ship with you as the navigator and Lirin as the pilot, because it's not possible. The fold must stay at all costs.
too far. I think the fold is standing because it is killing our friends. You know how the shellers, people take them and use them for energy. They're so small. Couldn't make a fold with just something so small like that. Couldn't keep it up. Something so small. We'd need something greater. Something... I don't know this for certain. But the way the greatest heroes we've ever known, people that Mr. Amarra trained, the way they are slowly being turned into something else, I think the fold is feeding off of their micronic energy, their essence, just like we use shellers to do things. And
the fold is protecting us.
but at what cost?
At all costs, always.
Then say it. What costs are you comfortable with? Look me in the eye and tell me what those costs are. You are accepting the pain and the suffering, the torment, the mutation of the heroes that came before. Say that you are okay with that happening.
I'm an engineer. I make the thing. I keep the thing running. I don't decide on how the thing is used.
You didn't decide, but this is how it's used. And you are either okay with it or you aren't. Do you believe that this is a fair price to pay for the fold to stay up? Do you not believe that it is possible that there is another way to do this? There is another way to keep Naviri safe and to return to us those trapped in the fold.
Do you know another way?
Is that not what scientists and engineers do?
Yes.
Then it's a good thing you're here. I don't know the way. You don't in this moment in time. But if Wakati has taught me anything, it's that this moment in time is just one of many. And there are versions of us existing in time where we have already solved this problem. And we are celebrating our triumph. We are celebrating our victory, our success in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds, because you found a way. You just haven't done it yet, but you will.
The Citadel will take a lot of convincing.
Yes.
I don't think they'll let me find a way.
I would be
Even if
very
I would-
surprised if that stopped you.
If the Citadel doesn't want it, it doesn't happen.
All we can control is what we do in this moment. We don't know yet what will come. But for now, we follow Wakati. We stay with Amarra. And we carve our own path and move forward. Okay?
What if I get it wrong?
That's what time travel's for. Just look into the future and you see every single possibility. It's confusing at first, but see what they all could be.
Mr. Wakiti, time travel doesn't exist.
It does. I've done it so many times.
I'd like to look at Lyric.
Yeah.
For like confirmation.
I don't think she's
Lyran-
broken her gaze from you.
Yeah, Lyran has not stopped making eye contact with you this entire time and has a smile that is at peace and reassuring.
One step at a time.
One step
Together.
through time.
I'm still not entirely sure about that part.
And you don't have to be.
Wes?
I don't mean to be alarming, but I think we need to find Mr. Amarra.
We're
I
actually
have
gonna
a
switch scenes.
bad feeling
Sorry.
about this. I have a bad feeling is my transition.
Yep. Perfect. I have a bad feeling about this. Whoop! And we're gonna back up in time a little bit to when Amarra walked out of his abode. What's going on?
Amarra just picked a direction and walked.
Yeah. It's towards the fold, isn't it? Without realizing it.
I think without realizing it. He just walks and walks and walks. Can't even really say that he's thinking about anything. So I think so many things has happened that he just does not have the power to process it all. But as he gets closer to the fold, he keeps seeing the sketches, the drawings of his students, and then almost superimposed over them the memories of his students, each of them on maybe special days, birthdays, breakthroughs in training, even just mundane things like cooking or baking together, just as memories flashing in his head. He grips tight on his cane in one hand and the journal in the other. And I think at some point, he's just not paying attention and he almost trips in the sand, his cane catching on something buried. And he just falls to his knees and just stays there for a moment. And he looks up and he sees the fold looming in front of him. The reason why he picked this place as a home, so that he told himself it was because he wanted to keep an eye on the fold. But I think it was his way of punishing himself, so he could never forget his mistake. Now he has a second chance. And not just a second chance, but a second chance with maybe his biggest regret. Because if he's to trust his senile brain, this Lirin looks so much like one of his students. The very student that warned him, that told him that she wasn't sure about this plan the council had. A student that he brushed aside the worries of and told her that would be fine, that the council would never do anything to hurt their heroes, the Tidal Blades, that I won't be able to go with them. I'll just hold them back with my injury, but they'll be back. And as a treat for the job well done, I would have baked them something. But they never came back. And now she's here again. Somehow. Again, asking me to save my students.
So what are you gonna do?
It's been 20 years, 3 months, 2 weeks and 2 days.
I almost called you out earlier when you said about 20 years, because I know, and you know exactly how long it's been.
The last entry in my journal is an attempt to write a typical journal, but the last entry was the day after, and all I wrote in it was, they're dead. I'm looking down at this page. And I close it. And I pick up my cane and push myself back onto my feet. And I think there's a smell of ozone building up around me. A almost static energy crackling off my cane as I take a deep breath and still myself. I'm going to save my students.
I would like you to roll for me, please. I think this is going to be... This is related to your ability that you haven't used in 20 some odd years? More than 20 years?
Yes.
So without spoiling, just roll me anything with that.
Okay. I will... Okay. Is there difficulty?
3. I knew it. I want to give you an artifact that isn't an artifact. I want to give you something you can use over and over and over again, as long as you feel you have it. And that is this resolve to save your students, I think should give you, anytime you are doing something that is getting you closer to that goal, you can ease the effort of whatever it is that you're doing. As long as you still believe there's hope, you can have this.
Okay.
All right.
As I walk back to my abode, you see the kind of large, rounded footprints in the sand almost compress underneath the weight of this elderly turtle who's found a new purpose.
And I think as you are walking back, you see them probably coming out of the abode right as you're heading back.
Sorry about that. Wasn't very hospitable of me to walk out on my guests.
It's okay.
Lyran puts one hand over her heart and bows very deeply at Amarra.
I think Amarra grips the cane again. I don't think. Do you remember anything from before?
Very little. But if this much has come back to me, more will.
Wakati, what do you need to go back?
I don't need anything. I can do it right now. Right here.
Okay, just give me a moment. I will walk past them. My eyes kind of linger on Lyran for a moment before looking back to my home. And I'll walk in, and again, I think in the same pile that this journal was in, kind of move clothing around and grab a recorder carved out of a pink coral. It's quite honestly a bit small for someone Amarra's size, but you can tell it's been taken care of even while hidden away. And they will hang it at their waist on their belts and then walk back out.
Are you all ready?
We going now?
Yes. It can take us 5 years. 3 months.
Perhaps it would be better if I were to stay here.
No, you have to see it. It won't be much. You'll just see our ship going into the fold as we did 5 years ago. Then we can all see what happened. And we'll know, and then I'll bring us right back. And we'll have a better sense of what we need to do going forward.
How do you know that it's safe?
I've done it before. don't remember when I went, but I know that I did. I should remember.
This won't tear down the fold. This won't move an
No.
anchor point. This won't...
No, we're just going back 5 years just to see what happened. We'll get insight.
Can
I remember once we went back to see how the fold was made, I think. Plans, papers. Please, you were saying.
I'd like to try and identify the machine that Mr. Amarra has got.
It's not a
Me?
machine.
Or
I think it's very easy to notice. It's a recorder, the instrument.
So it's not like disguised in any way.
No, it's just it's a like a flute, but rather a flute, a recorder carved out of pink coral.
And then Wakiti's instrument, was that the one you were gonna look at, his? Or did you mean the flute, the recorder?
I did mean the flute, but
Yeah,
now
okay.
I can see this.
Yeah, I figured like something
Any
would catch your
machine,
attention. Yeah. You can absolutely roll for that.
Okay. Identify machine.
I was gonna say you have special abilities, so you're trained, which eases the task, the difficulty for this. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is a 4 difficulty to identify exactly how this functions and how it has aided him in the past. But you do have, you are trained in this, and also you have assets. I think you have 2, if I remember correctly, on your sheet. So
just for ease, next to that skill, there should be like a dice button. If you click that, it will go through the same process of stuff, and it will include your training automatically.
Yeah, it'll ease it down for you, make it less difficult.
So I don't include an asset on this roll.
Yeah, you can. You do have an asset. I think you have 2 actually.
Okay, then yes, I would like
without
to do that.
spoiling anything. Yeah. Fingers crossed. Why? Okay, sorry. I'm just trying to think of why do you think you can't identify this? Because I think you are perfectly capable of identifying what this does. I think there's no reason why you wouldn't have been able to identify this, but I think maybe you don't want to know what this really does. And if this is, maybe there's a bit of your own belief that's blocking your ability to acknowledge the truth. Or do you think if you saw the truth in this object, you would admit it?
I think if I saw the truth, I would admit it because it would be a fact.
Yeah. Yep.
But my entire world has just collapsed.
Yeah.
That literally everything that I've been taught, everything that I know, everything that I have lived my life trying to maintain.
Yeah.
The fold and learning in the Citadel with a mentor who's the fold is her everything.
Yeah.
The purpose is we must hold on to the fold, and until I saw for myself as a fact that person, creature in the book was the same person, creature in front of me, and I saw the reaction, that's a fact. I know that as a fact. So if that's a fact, are the rest of the facts still facts? And I think my whole brain is so focused on trying to process all of these facts and figure out exactly what they are at all the different times
that I'm looking at something that should be like when you haven't slept for 2 days and then you try and do a simple math problem.
You miss something because you're somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, that makes more sense to me. I will also say that I think while it is known for engineers that there is some sort of time abilities, there's nothing like this time travel that Wakiti is talking about. It is extreme. And the fold was made out of experimental time magic. No clue how it works or if it was even going to work in the first place. But Tufa is an apprentice to an engineer. And I think the information that she's been granted access to is very limited. And keeping the fold maintained is a priority. And so a lot of other information that may have changed her mind here or let her realize some things sooner than later, I don't think were intentionally or maliciously withheld, but it was just the fact that that was your mentor's driving thing. So that's all you were exposed to.
And I believed everything that she told me.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. I suppose you want to try something now, Bull.
I would like to use my time travel ability.
Yeah.
I will concentrate my intent so that I can move all of us back 5 years.
Okay. Now, I know that we agreed that you don't have this ability anymore, but
What?
I want there to be a chance.
Oh.
I want there to be a sliver of a chance always. So I think you go to use this ability that we know, or at least I know, we know that he doesn't have this anymore. He doesn't know yet.
I am shocked.
Yes, you're going to realize in a second that you can't do this anymore, but I want there to be a chance. So can we roll for this with the possibility that if you crit, you can do it?
Okay.
Madness, I know.
I'm going to need to bring up the other character sheet, though.
Yes.
The one that still has all of those memories.
Yep.
Which is not the one I'm using right now.
Yeah, but maybe that's the one that's doing this. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe.
Like at the same time you're trying, maybe another one of you is trying to pull you somewhere. So I don't know.
Yes.
I think there should be a slim chance, but it should still be possible.
I will do this.
Because I think if I give you difficulty 7, you won't possibly make it, right? Or is it still possible?
It's possible.
Use effort. It's still possible.
And also, I have, I pressed the wrong button. I can ease things.
Yeah.
Right? So, I have, let's see. This is intellect.
Yeah.
And let's say it's a 7.
It's a 7. Difficulty 7, y'all. We've been going at 4. This is crazy.
Which, technically, you cannot do. But I get to ease it because of my chronic training. I also have effort that I will spend. Whose effort can I spend? Which of me?
I think it's yours.
That didn't answer the question.
I'm so sorry. The one who's present with Amarra.
Yes.
And the crew.
I
Yeah.
will do that. I also have assets. I have this.
But that doesn't work quite right anymore. So that doesn't count as an asset anymore. Do you have another asset? Because I have an offer for you.
Well, I mean, you have an offer. I feel like I shouldn't mention the other asset because offers are way better than assets. They're spicier.
Your scarf.
They usually cause trouble. Yes.
That's definitely an asset in my book.
Yes. So, I will roll this.
I have a question.
Yes, you may.
Yeah. One of my special abilities is Inspiring Ease. After spending 24 hours with you once per day, each of your friends can ease a task. This benefit is ongoing while you remain in the friend's company.
Yes, absolutely. Oh.
This brings it to a 5. And I have my asset. I begin to concentrate. And I think, you must focus your intent. And I have some concerns. There have been things said that make me think other things. But if I concentrate, I can bring us back 5 years.
That is a failure. What happens?
Nothing. Well, I don't think nothing, because it costs. It costs. Nothing happens, except all of the color out of my blue scales drain, and I look quite faint. I look as if I might pass out suddenly, not just like I'm tired a little bit, but as if something happened. I should be able to do this. I've done this before.
Wakati? Are
Liren,
you feeling alright?
I need your help right now. Please.
Yes.
You need to take away the memory of who you are from me. Who you really are. I can't know that. You have to take it away. Please.
Why?
I'm not remembering a number of things. Things that I should be able to remember. And I have done this before. I have done this before. From the beginning, when we came out of here, I have been having a harder time doing the things that I could do before. Which says to me, this is not my body that I can't remember my friends. If you have been there for 20 years, that means you were not in the hideout with me. You did not grow up with me, but I remember that you did, which means I must have put it there. My other self must have done this to me. And if this other self did this to me, and I pull out the journal, and if this other self writes that I should not be remembering my friends, how I got in, how I got out, when I went into the past, where I went. If I took that from me, and if I made myself remember that you were always with me and you were not Tidal Blade, that means I'm not supposed to know, because something is going to happen to me. If I know, something bad could happen. I can't know who you really are if it was taken from me. There's a reason for it. If I did this to me, if I took the memories of my friends, you weren't the pilot of this ship. It must have been Kelp. But if Kelp were the pilot of the ship, that means he's here. He's here with us in this place time. But how come I don't know that? Why did I take that memory from myself? Why don't I know that my friend is here? If I don't know, that's because I'm not supposed to know. Which means I can't know because I know this now, and you have to take it from me. I can't know. I don't want to forget, but please.
How?
Wakati reaches out his hand, the same way he's always reached out. And he puts your hand on his heart. Please. I feel like you've done this before.
Whatever you need.
I'm ready. It was nice to know who you are again.
For me also.
I don't think you need to roll for it.
Because I don't resist.
Yeah. But while this is happening, I would like to take a moment with the reactions of the other two, Amarra and Tufa. If you remember, it is very difficult for Wakiti to lie. In fact, it's written on his sheet he can't lie. So I think it becomes clear to you in this moment that there's a reason why he's been removing or hiding the identity of Lirin, because he can't lie about it if he were to be asked by anyone, specifically the council. The council thinks that she came in and out. If anyone knew that she was and came back, it would start a revolution. People would want the fold to come down. And maybe worse. So I'd like to know what your reactions are. Whoever wants to go first.
Mara's reaction, I think. I think there's very few things worse than being hopeless. But I think the one thing worse than that is having hope and then losing it. Even just if you had that hope for a moment, losing it, one, just hurts, but then two, there's the added feeling of feeling stupid for hoping. And I think almost immediately as you gave me this quote unquote artifact of being determined to save my students, I think I lose it almost immediately as this one hope that I was stupid enough to believe in fails in front of me. And I think I've just frozen in place in a mixture of despair and I think anger is too kind, too gentle of a word, but he's feeling a lot of whatever could be more than that towards himself. This is a 17-year-old kid, and I expect him to help me right or wrong that I should have been wise enough to avoid. It was ridiculous of me to do something like that. So I think I'm just frozen in place. I'm not even hearing or seeing what's around me, just I'm in my head in this storm of emotions right now.
Okay. Too far. This one's going to be tough.
Yeah. Similarly to when I failed to identify this machine, my whole world's been turned upside down.
Mm-hmm.
And to the point where everything is so wrong that nothing else is surprising. So I think since this moment of chaos, it's kind of like, well, what else could be true? Of course, like, I think there's this kind of abandon, this sense of, well, nothing else matters. So why can't that be? Like this, she's sort of turned a corner, I think. I think a lot of how Too Far relates to the world is very strongly with two things at the center: herself and facts.
Yeah.
Wakiti has said something that is a fact. He can't lie. He said it with such intensity that even I can pick up that in the world of fact or not fact, it's a fact.
Yeah.
And for me, knowing a fact is then, how can I help this fact?
Yeah.
So as soon as he needed something, I was ready to jump in.
I saw that.
And it was, I think, a missed cue on my part that she didn't too far, didn't realize that this is a special moment between two people, and it would have been inappropriate to interrupt that. But there was no, I have a thing, I can help the fact. So I think visually that would look like her literally stepping in with her pencil and a book, and then sort of stepping back again as real, like amidst the softness of this conversation, and stepping back again and kind of resigning herself to silence, actually, like silence and observation.
I have a question for you. This is the hard part. I think there probably isn't a question in your mind that if anyone at the Citadel found out who she was, really, she would never be outside again. She would be, Yep.
What you're thinking of isn't a question in my mind, isn't an option in my mind. There is an option in my mind, but it's nothing to do with Lyran.
Okay. What is the option?
To not go with them.
Okay.
And go back to the Citadel.
What will you tell them?
I don't think I know yet. You mean, what would I tell the Citadel?
Yeah.
I don't think I know yet.
Okay.
That this is very much a breaking of two worlds.
Yeah. I don't think you have to know yet, but I was just curious if your willingness to jump in and help is something that you would do that to both you and Amarra as an option to protect this information.
I don't know if I know what you mean.
So I'm pretty sure you have an ability as well that would make this not a problem for both you and Amarra. And it would protect that information, and perhaps maybe you could write the truth down in your notebook somewhere and tuck it away. But I just want to be very clear that if this information did get out about her, it would be, they would take her and probably, ask her a bunch of questions. I'm not saying they're, horrible people, these arcanists or engineers, but again, nothing like this has ever happened before. And so I think you are presented with, from the perspective of a scientist, two options. You either go with them and learn firsthand and take notes and write that all down, or you keep the information and it could potentially be found out later, and then she's taken and experimented on or whatever.
It's not just her, it's my friend Kelp, too. I mentioned that he'd come through. Now I realized there's other people. Maybe.
How much time has passed since Liren was identified in that book?
I don't think that long, right? Because he took a walk on the beach. I'd say
20, 30 minutes, maybe.
20, 30 minutes. That's exactly what I was going to say as well.
I don't think I could do anything about it if I tried.
5 minutes is what we get.
You can try if you'd like.
I would like to try. I would like to try and erase my own memories. I think that's the logical option here.
I'd like to ask you another question, because this is just the time travel junkie in me, but I think you made this device one night just for fun. But what do you think happens when you go, you have a moment where you go, this is why I made this. I didn't know it then, but I know it now. Is there a moment of, I want to say mysticism, but in Naviri, magic and science are somewhat the same. So is there a moment of, yeah,
there's a moment of a kind of epiphany, but I think again for too far it's less of an epiphany and it's more, I think it looks externally, it looks like as humans we would perceive what an epiphany might look like, but for her it's like getting to the end of a chapter in a scientific book and finally understanding the theory, finally having enough context to understand the theory. That's her reference point.
Yep. Okay. Oh, fantastic.
Before she does erase anything, because we have two people who are going to get their memories erased. So I want this said before the erasure. Wakati says, as he has Liren's sandalwood hand on his chest, this look of pain hits his face, and he says, emotional pain, he says, if I'm hiding my memories, who am I hiding it from? Has to be the Citadel. But I've always dreamed of. I think we have to take them away now.
Tufa, do you say anything, or are you just going to silently do this as well?
I'm going to silently do this as well.
Okay. Wow. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and roll.
I don't resist.
I know you don't resist, but here's the thing. And I know this is going to come as a shock to you.
What?
But I actually don't think that Liren can do this for you. I think you've been doing this to yourself.
Oh.
Yeah.
You mean?
There it is.
Me?
Yeah.
I've been doing it? Oh.
She can help you. She can make it easier for you, but it has been you.
See.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So you don't have to roll because you're not resisting, and I will remove the information is gone, and we'll take a moment to see what that looks like in a second. But Tufa, I would like you to roll for reasons. This will be an intellect roll. You do have an asset, or two actually. You have 2 assets.
You can also ease it from my ability because you haven't used that yet today.
Yep.
Do I roll this from my erase memories special ability?
You can. If there's like a little dice roller, you can do that because it'll automatically ease the stuff. Oh, okay. It didn't do that.
Just
okay.
make an intellect roll.
So you can just go ahead and make the intellect roll, but it will ease it. So instead of the difficulty of 4, it'll be the difficulty of 3. And then you get 2 assets on top of that.
And one of these assets is because Liren is helping me.
The effort goes from 4 to 3 because Liren is helping you, but you have 2 objects on your person in your many, many pockets that are that are assets for this. Yep, one being that. Yep, that's absolutely one of them.
I unpack what looks like a small mirror. One half is mirrored on the inside and one half is glittery. And I hold it up, mirror facing me. And I tip it slightly back until the sun hits it. Beautiful, beautiful sunshine. And as I pull the mirror forwards, the light reflects on the fold and then into my eyes.
Everyone can see that she does this. I think it's pretty clear what she's doing. What is it like, Wakiti, when yours goes?
I think I lock eyes with Tufa in that moment as the fold glitters in her eyes. And I look back, I look over my shoulder, and I see someone. I don't know if anyone else does, but I see myself. I'm a bit older, I think. When I walk up to me, I'm a little afraid. I am. The other me is not afraid. And places his hand, my hand, on top of Liren's hand, on top of my chest, and then leans over and whispers something into my ear. And then he steps away and reaches into my vest, pulls out my journal, and rips out a page, puts my journal back into my vest, and walks into the sea.
And as these two take the memory of the truth of who Liren really is, you two are the only ones that know the truth, Amarra and Liren. And that's where we're going to end today's session. What? Holy, you all unreal. Unreal. I'm going to roll the credits and then we'll come back. What? What just happened?
We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers, stronger than ever. Never say never. Don't look back now. Don't look back now.
sorry. We just needed a second to process everything, and now we'll come back and we'll say hello and goodbye. What just happened? What were those rolls? What was that RP? I nearly cried. Oh, you guys stuck me in the feels pretty hard multiple times throughout that. Like I don't know exactly what is going on, but it's like you have lived these lives for real, and all of a sudden we're jumping in the middle of this story for everything. But I don't doubt for a second anything that's happening. Any of these feelings, any of these choices you're making, I am just blown away by your RP. Y'all are so good.
Thank you.
Stop.
Also, that moment where you were like, she rolls her shoulders back and kind of just, I think we've all had a moment like that where you're looking at something and you just instinctively go, either correct yourself or, you have a memory that makes you think that was wild. Let's just go around real quick and everybody shout out like a favorite moment from today while we recover a little bit. If that's okay.
Yes.
Doesn't have to be the favorite moment because that would stress me out. Just a good one that you enjoyed.
Amarra on the beach.
Just a favorite. Yeah.
Amarra on the beach. But that's the obvious one. I'm going to go for the secondary one.
Mm-hmm.
When Wakati, whose tier 6 character can definitely time travel, but who is not currently that person, couldn't do it. It just didn't work. When Amarra was like, I had hope and I lost it. Like, why did I even think? Oh.
It was so good.
Thank you. God, my favorite moment. I think of another one, but I definitely have to pair it. The Liren kind of copying the posture of. We haven't revealed the name, so Liren copying the posture of the Tidal Blades in the drawing. I think that fully got me. I was like, okay, cool. This is not just Amarra now. This is me, Drak, getting emotional.
Yep. Yeah, it got me.
I think mine was Kolo as Tufa coming around to the fact that they can do something, and the fact that she's seeing that that's possible, and that she might not know how they're going to get there, but that doesn't mean that it is impossible.
That moment, first of all, that moment where you were like, look me in the eye and tell me you're okay with this was unreal. I was like, oh! But also that was so incredibly powerful. And then Kolo, you followed it up with, do you know how? Like, please just help me do the right thing. The thing that I feel in my bones is what I want to be doing. And yet I don't know how. That's what that said to me, was just like, I want to, but I don't know how. And it was really good. I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. Yeah, it was crazy good. Oh.
I think my favorite is Liren's speech.
Yeah.
The at what cost speech.
Yeah.
And I think it's so I'm finding it very difficult to play a character who is so factual because I just do everything with my heart.
Yeah.
And Em's speech, the way that you crafted that is like, I had this moment where I was like, don't break character. This is exactly what, like, because that is so, like, that's so real. That's absolutely what it was. And I just, like, that was just a really beautiful moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That bit too, where you said, I'm an engineer. I build the thing.
Yeah.
I don't, like,
I'm sure how it was used.
Yeah, it was so good. The whole thing was so good. I was like, what do I even do with that? Oh, I think I saw a comment in the chat that said I'm enthralled. Me too. I'm just sitting here like, what is, like, just scene after scene, moment after moment, line after line. There were so many good ones. Like, Troop, you said one about heroes that I can't recall because my brain is cheese. But man, that was this whole session was special. I can't believe that was in episode 2. I really feel the weight of this, by the way. I really feel the weight of what's happening in this information and this truth. And also Tufa just being like the only logical choice is to take this memory for myself is nuts. Because it isn't the only logical choice, but it was the only one for her. So good. Yeah, so good. Wow. Thank you everyone for playing. Thank you everyone for watching. What we just did just now is pretty much what you can see on our green rooms normally. So we're not doing one of those today because we just did one live, but essentially it's us talking about the episode afterwards. And that is one of the perks of being a Tablestory historian, which you can do by going to our merch page, merch.tablestory.tv. We also do have maybe a surprise merch or two coming our way for this show specifically.
Ooh.
I'm not going to give away too much, but I will say there is maybe potentially some chalk underlining on a specific saying that was dropped in the last episode, which is going to be excellent, and hopefully that'll be here for next week. But otherwise, again, thank you so much for watching. If you all have a Prime sub or anything like that, please consider throwing it at one of these amazing role players for giving us the gift of this story. Yeah, and that is it. We'll see you tomorrow.
Can I thank?
Oh yes.
Can I thank you?
No.
For being the most amazing GM. Can I?
I can't handle it.
Yes.
I will take us out. I will take tomorrow's main character, Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Be there. And that's it. I'm hitting the button now. I love you all so much.
He was great. He was the greatest GM.
We could